All right, let's spill the tea. We saw the fun, we saw the dancing, and we saw the fitness. But what you didn't see was how Mover Summer actually came together, what went wrong, what went right, and my faith that carried me through. So grab a drink, sit back, and let me tell you the real story behind Ottawa's first Afrobeats Dance Fitness series. Let's get into it. Okay, let's talk. So this summer, I created a 9-week Afrobeats Dance Fitness series for the ladies, and I called it Move Her Summer. And I was just looking to find community, actually build community, as well as find community, as well as help the ladies to find their rhythm, because it's Afrobeats, and build strength. Let me give you some context. So I was just coming off of mat leave. This would be in the beginning of May, and I had to go back to work. I'm a teacher. So I had about one more month or so before summer would start. And we all know that teachers don't work in the summer. And so I started to panic because I was like, I don't have a job for the summer. So I started to put in applications, look for part-time work, full-time work, casual, work from home. It wasn't working out for me. And so I started to panic and get anxious because I'm like, I need to make some income for this summer. And so just randomly, I was breastfeeding my daughter in her room, and it just dawned on me, you have a gift. You dance, you run fitness classes, Phoebe, hello. So what I decided to do was I decided to literally spend a whole month planning out this 9-week dance fitness series. I was obviously scared and afraid and anxious because I didn't know if anyone was going to come. But I decided to just be still for a moment and just to really meditate on this whole idea that I was kind of mulling over in my head. And a Bible verse came to me, and it was that your gift will make room for you. And this is something I've actually believed for a long time. Just in a world of so much competition and everyone's doing something, sometimes you can kind of get lost with the little that you have, or a lot that you have, depending on how you see it. And I just told myself, Phoebe, you have something special, and it doesn't matter if other people are doing it. Your gift is always meant to be shared with others, and you have something to share. So based on that, I decided to go ahead and plan out Move Her Summer Afrobeats Dance Fitness in the park. And it was quite a bit of work, but I would say that the hard work paid off, and I had quite the successful summer. All right, let's talk planning process. So the planning process was quite seamless. It did take some time. I was juggling a lot at the time. So I did say that I was a teacher. So I was going to my 9 to 5. And then when I come home, I'd be a mom, make dinner, cook, clean, get the kid. Well, actually my husband gets the kids ready for bed, but nonetheless, like everything that a mom does, I would do after. So I would work on FLVRFITT, Move Her Summer in the evenings after the kids went to bed. It was tough because some nights I would go to bed really late and still have to wake up early in the morning to go to work. I would also use my work time to work on my event. Don't tell anyone. But I did it responsibly, right? So as a teacher, you get prep time as well as lunch hours. So lunch hours, very seldom I was social. I would talk a little bit to some of the staff if I knew I had a friend on staff or anything like that. But most of the time, once that lunch bell hit and I wasn't on duty, I would literally run to the lunchroom, find a corner, and just be typing away at my computer, planning out everything that had to be planned for Move Her Summer. I also used my prep time, and even sometimes during class time when the class was quiet and the students were quietly working, I would have my laptop open and just get small work done.
But I would always make sure that it would never interfere with my job. Like, that's unacceptable. But I always found pockets of time to quickly, sneak in a little 1-2. And that's what I did. I did that continuously every single day for a month, and it worked out. I was able to get a lot of planning done. What really helped me with my planning was ChatGPT. I love that technology because honestly, it is my personal assistant. Like, there are so many ideas that go through my head, like a million miles a minute. And all I have to do is punch in my ideas and ask ChatGPT to organize my thoughts, put systems in place. It really made my planning seamless. I also was able to plan out and kind of foresee the logistics that I'd be working with. Some of those logistics would be renting out the parks. I planned that every Thursday I would have the event. So I made sure that I would have park space available every Thursday at 7 p.m. And that in itself was pretty smooth, nearing like the peak of the event. But in the beginning, it was a little rough just because I didn't really know what I was doing. And also, I feel like I wasn't really efficient with the way that I was renting out the spaces. If I were to do it again, I would rent out my spaces all at once. What I was doing in the beginning was every week I would rent out this space, and I would wait till maybe like 3 or maybe 4 days before. And that was stressful because Ottawa Parks and Spaces, like, they're also, a business, right? So they're dealing with so many other people in the city wanting to rent out spaces. So getting to my requests and processing my requests was sometimes took time, right? And that kind of gave me anxiety. So nearing the middle of the summer, I was just like, you know what, let me just pay for all the spaces that I need in full now so I don't have to worry. And that was one thing that was really helpful. I also rented a speaker. I was looking into purchasing a speaker, but just looking at how long I would need the speaker for and then the price of the speakers that I was looking at, it just made sense to rent them out. And so I rented them out from a company here in Ottawa called Capital Event Rentals, and they were so helpful. Because I was renting out my speaker for 9 weeks, they were able to like help me out with the pricing in terms of how much I would pay per week, which was amazing. And another logistic that I had to consider was childcare, and then having a mic so that people could hear me when we'd be dancing in the park. Okay, so for execution was quite a process, and it was also quite nerve-wracking, because I really had to step outside of my comfort zone, and I'll explain why. So within that month and a half of planning, I produced a promo video that told my audience what I was going to offer this summer. I worked so hard on it, and I posted it on IG first. Crickets. Literally, I believe my sister liked and commented, and her friend commented. They're like, woohoo, yeah, this is so much fun. We're gonna be there. Which is great. I'm not making fun of my sister and my friend. Like, I really appreciate them for the support. But I was actually looking for a bigger support, because I really thought that people would like Afrobeats Dance Fitness. So I got really discouraged. I was like, oh man, I put in all this work and nobody is showing any support, any interest. So I sat on it for a couple days, maybe even a week, and I got frustrated. I got upset. I was like, oh man. So one day I was going to pick up my kids from my mom. My mom watches my kids when I go off to work. And I sat in the car, and just out of frustration, I knew that TikTok was more of a community social media platform than IG. I just find that the community is more welcoming. So I decided to open up my TikTok app and just pour out my heart. I was going to be myself. Like, I wasn't going to change anything. I was just going to be myself, be genuine, be vulnerable, and share with the community what I had to offer. And that's exactly what I did. So I filmed the video in my car And then I sat on it for hours. I went to go pick up my kids, got home, made dinner. And then I even made a few other versions of the video, which I realized were not as authentic. So I trashed those, but I kept the original one. And I posted it right before I went to bed. I woke up the next morning, drove to work, and right before I got out of my car, I was like, oh, let me just check to see if anyone responded. I had like comments upon comments, views upon views. And the interesting thing is that over time, it just grew and grew and grew. I was floored. It grew, like my viewer count grew all the way past 45,000 views. I had over 800 comments. I had over 3,000 likes and over 800 shares, something along those metrics. And I was just surprised. I made sure to respond to every comment, but just reading the comments was what got me like, oh my gosh, finally this is in Ottawa. Oh my gosh, girl, I'll be there. Oh, I can't wait to come. Oh, I'm gonna get my girlfriends, they're gonna show up. And I was like, what? And right then and there, and I just want to put a pin in this right here because I want to share with someone who's watching, like, just because you post and no one responds doesn't mean that people don't like what you have to offer. It just means that no one has seen it. And it just means that you have to find a way to be visible. And literally, I feel like the videos that go viral are the videos that are the most authentic. They are the videos that are not curated perfectly, and they're the videos that are, that don't have the perfect touch. Sure, sometimes those videos go viral, but I know that people like the videos that are just raw and authentic. And I think that's why that video on TikTok went viral compared to my perfectly curated promotional video. So once I posted that video, I was amazed at the support that came through, specifically on TikTok. I had influencers reach out to me to ask me if they could come to my class so that they could promote what I was offering. And that's something that I feel like I would have to do. I would have to reach out to influencers and say, hey, come to my class for free. And, in return, please promote my event, right? I had a photographer, like such a lovely lady. I had this one photographer lady reach out to me in my DMs and asked me if she could film and capture my event. Like, from where? And this allows me to really know that the hand of God was upon what I was doing. It was one of those things that, it really brought me back down to my faith, knowing that faith without works is dead. We all say, have faith. And we actually confess, I have faith. I believe it's going to happen. But are you putting in the work for it to happen? Faith without works. What are your works? What works are you putting in? So with my works, with my planning, my consistent and dedicated planning, that proved my faith. And I saw all of this. I saw like the results come forth in how my video went. I always say mini viral. It wasn't like a major viral thing, but it went mini viral, and how the influencers came to me and asked me to film my videos or film my events, and how the photographer came and said, you know what, I want to photograph your launch. I thought that was amazing. And even through that, I had other people reach out to me wanting to collaborate and do all sorts of cool things. So I'm really grateful for how things turned out in terms of execution. I'm really thankful for the ladies that came out to support. Launch day was special. I was extremely nervous on launch day. I remember getting ready, getting my outfit ready, my hair ready. I remember my hands were shaking, and I was thinking of every possible bad thing that could happen. Oh, what if I'm weird? What if I'm awkward? Because for me, like, we all kind of like, as much as I was as authentic as I could be online, we still also kind of put up some type of facade online to show that, like, we've got it together. But now people are coming to meet me in person, right? So I was thinking, okay, are people gonna like me? Are people going to like the Afrobeats Dance Fitness? Am I gonna forget the moves? I was just thinking of everything. But when I got to the park and I set up my equipment, I set up my signs and my speaker, my music, and I saw the woman just slowly start to come in, I just calmed down. And I just felt peace come over me. And I'm like, this is what I'm called to do. I really felt like I was in my element. And another thing I wanted to talk about are the types of people that came out to my event. When I was first planning this event, I really wanted to see different people. I wanted to see Black women. I wanted to see white women. I wanted to see Hispanic women. Any type of woman, I wanted to see them all. And when I put the video out, even the response of the different types of women that responded with interest made me so happy, because this is what I envisioned from the beginning. I love to see people of different kinds and different walks of life coming together. I think that's what makes community beautiful. And I want to share this story because it made me sad that somebody felt the need to have to ask permission. But while in the process of planning, there was a social media account that reached out to me and said, hey, I just wanted to know if this was a safe space for white women to attend. When I saw the question, my mouth dropped like, what? Like, how is this person even asking this question? Of course, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I feel like we're in a day and age where as much as we shout unity from the rooftops and love everyone and accept everyone, I feel like we have come to a place where we're starting to segregate. We don't mean to segregate, but based on, the political landscape of, I would say, the world, I feel like it's just safer to stay with your own kind. And I think that's sad. I think there's beauty in mixing with so many different races and so many different types of people. And it makes me so happy that Black women, white women, Hispanic women, Asian women, brown women were able to come to my event and feel comfortable, to feel like they could find a sisterhood, to feel like they could trust me to have a good time, to trust me with their fitness journeys, and to learn a new skill. Like, it just made me so happy. And this is something that I want to continue. And it's something that I hope that I could even change. I don't know how, but just allowing my space to be a safe space for any type of woman to come and work out and feel their ultimate best, to feel empowered. And I think that's what Mover Summer was all about. Yes, it was something that I had in mind to do, but I didn't go deep into my thinking as to what I really wanted Mover Summer to become. But now that Mover Summer is done, I reflect on the community and sisterhood that was created, and it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. All right, let's talk challenges. Let's talk wins. Let's talk losses. Let's talk failures. So we'll start off with the wins. The wins were that I grossed almost $3,000, which was great based on how much I spent in terms of expenses. I had over 80 women come out to my event throughout the summer. Some came multiple times, some came once. It doesn't matter. It was still great to see different types of women come out. And so I had a lot of opportunities come my way. I was able to feature Move Her Summer on CTV, which was a huge win for my brand. That was one of the best things that happened this summer, I would say. And just be able to get my name out there, which was great. the little social media buzz that I had on TikTok, and then I never mentioned this, but later on IG was also a huge win. And then I was also able to offer one of my fitness classes at the Metcalfe Plaza. So Air Commune and Emma Shoza, they're both big brands in Montreal. They pretty much put out, they put out open air events, but I think it makes sense more in French. But if I were to talk about it in English, they put out open space events that are free in Montreal. They're like big parties that anyone can just walk into and have a good time. So they brought that here into Ottawa, and they had a lot of heavy hitters come and do a bunch of performances and parties down on Metcalfe. And I got the opportunity to offer a FLVRFITT class on a Saturday afternoon, which was great exposure for FLVRFITT. A good handful of people came out, and it was great. I really enjoyed that experience. I was also able to work with the Boys and Girls Club, which was really, really cool. Just a way to give back. And yeah, I was able to, throw together a cute little dance fitness workout session with some young girlies, and they seemed to have a good time. But yeah, overall, like, those were the wins of the summer, and I'm actually proud of myself. Like, I put my mind to something, I didn't give up, and so much came out of it, which I thought was great. What are the failures, or what are the challenges that I went through? Sip my tea. Well, the weather. The weather was a huge challenge. I would say maybe out of the 9 weeks that I held this event, I would say maybe more than half of the Thursdays were raining, which was really frustrating. I remember sometimes the whole week would be sunny, but once Thursday came, it's like the enemy was coming for me. It's like the enemy didn't want me to succeed. Every time Thursday came, the forecast would be just rain, thunderstorms, rain. Like, I was like, what is this? But what I found so interesting was the forecast would either call for rain, and rain would show up in the afternoon, but by the time 7 p.m. hit, the rain was gone. Or it rained all day. But by the time 7 p.m. came, the rain stopped. And then the rain would come back as soon as my class was done, which I found so odd. There was one day where they called for severe thunderstorms. Like, there was a severe thunderstorm watch. And I literally had my phone on me the whole day. I was panicking. I'm like, I am not going to cancel my event, because that was my goal. My goal was not to cancel. Like, whatever it was, we will just power through. If it was really raining, then I would, at the last minute, find an indoor location and have my event there. So I remember, like, 6:30 hit and it was still raining, and we were literally on our way to the park. And I was like, man, this is not gonna look good. So we got to Britannia Park, and the sky was dark. And I remember, so Britannia Park has waters surrounding it. Excuse me. And I remember my husband and I were like, let's just run it. And if it starts to rain, we'll just shut it down. So far, like, we got about 50 minutes into the workout, and I noticed that the winds are picking up. The sky is getting dark, but I'm like, it's okay, Phoebe, just push through. I'm looking at the reaction of the ladies that were working out, and they were enjoying it. They were feeling it. They were working hard. And then I look straight back to maybe the third or fourth row, and I see this one girl. Like, she just stops working out, and she looks up at the sky, and she starts pointing. So then I stop working out, and I look up at the sky, and I'm like, oh shoot, like, the sky is dark. The clouds are dark. I look over at my husband. He's like, shut it down. So I was like, okay, everyone, and it looks like it's not going to be safe. Like, please, let's just pack up our stuff and let's just call it a night, because I don't want anyone to get hurt, So we literally just scattered. Like, we just left the park. And the moment that we all got in our cars, it started to rain. And I was like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for that close call, because I don't know what would have happened if we were to stay out with the lightning and everything. Like, yeah. So I would say weather was one of my biggest challenges. My mic situation, oh my gosh, my mic bothered me because I had everything planned out from the beginning. And then the first day that I connected my mic to my speaker, which, mind you, I had already practiced connecting my mic and everything worked out perfectly at home. The moment I took my mic and my speaker out into the park, that's when my mic decided to act up. So I literally tried my mic over and over and over again on different days, and I just wasn't having any luck. So I actually ended up running my fitness classes in the park without a mic. It did put a strain on my voice, but it actually wasn't too bad. Could I have bought a new mic? Yes, but I was really careful about my budget. I really didn't want to go over, and I realized that using my voice was all right. I was able to handle it, so I stuck without using a mic. All right, so to close things off, I just want to reflect on the impact that I think Move Her Summer Afrobeats Dance Fitness in the Park had. I believe Move Her Summer was able to bring women from different walks of life, women with different fitness levels, come together and work out, come together and create a sisterhood to find the rhythm and to build confidence. I remember there were a lot of comments online of people being intimidated by Afrobeats Dance Fitness, which I can completely understand. Afrobeats is quite the genre. It's a well-liked genre, I know that, but when it comes to the dancing, I know there's some crazy moves. And so I can understand why people may feel intimidated to come and, work out, especially with the cultural moves that I have implemented in the fitness routines. I'm also quite pleased with, I want to go deeper into the sisterhood, because I remember when I first started, it was, I don't want to say it's awkward, but when you go into a space when there's so many different people, just being an individual in that space, like you don't really know how to comport yourself, right? Like you see other ladies, you don't know if you should say hi, spark up a conversation. But with the ladies that were actually consistent in coming to the Move Her Summer classes for 9 weeks, I saw them create a sisterhood. I saw them create a friendship, to the point where when we first started, they didn't say hi to each other because they didn't know each other, right? But by the end of the 9 weeks, it was like, oh, hey girl, how are you? How was your week? Like, oh my gosh, my week was whatever, or cracking jokes. Like, watching that made me so happy, and even myself, like I was able to build relationships just because of my consistency with holding these events every week for the summer. So yeah, I think that was the impact that I had. For my brand, I think now it's given my brand some legitimacy. Like, oh wow, like she actually went into the city and did something, And people like it when you're serious. People like it when you go into the city and have an impact and, benefit the city. People like that stuff, And I think I'm proud of myself for doing that. And just creating a space in the city. Oh, okay. So my social media platforms grew, which made me really happy. So that means I'm, my brand is becoming more visible. I was able to gain, I think, over 500 more followers on my IG and 700 more followers on my TikTok. And I mean, numbers mean nothing, right? But it's, on the other side, being the owner of a business, being a brand owner, it does something to your self-esteem, right? Those of you who can relate, sometimes when growth is slow, but then you see people adding you and you see people commenting and you see people reaching out to you in your DMs, it really boosts your confidence. Like, wow, okay, like I'm actually doing something that people are appreciating, So yeah, I would say that would be the impact. That's all I can think of for now. But yeah, that would be the impact. So from a personal development standpoint, I would say that what I did this summer really helped me to understand who I am as a person, the gifts and qualities that I carry, and the potential that I have. It really helped me to see the Lord in a different light. Honestly, I'm a little bit shocked because I feel like I've never really put God to test. And let me explain. We do a lot of talking as human beings. Yeah, I want to do this. Yeah, I want to do that. And going back to my previous statement about faith without works is dead, I have planned and I have said I would do a lot of things, but I haven't actually fully executed from beginning till end. And now that I've actually executed, I have been able to see the hand of God in everything that I've done. The way that my video went viral, God. I believe it's the Lord. The way that the influencers reached out to me so that they could document what my class was like, God. Because there was one influencer, let me shout them out. Thank you, Abby, Roam with Abby, and thank you, Imani Explorers. They just came out, they reached out, they're like, hey, we want to document your launch. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. They came to my classes, made amazing videos, put it on their social media profiles. And actually one of the videos went very viral. Now that I think about it, I think it went even more viral than my TikTok video, which actually helped the visibility of Move Her Summer, which I'm so grateful for. But like the people that were sent to me, the photographer, the influencers, even getting on CTV and Metcalf Plaza and the Boys and Girls Club, like I attribute all of that to the Lord, just saying, well done, my daughter, well done. Like when you put your mind to something and you work hard, and specifically when you are aligned with what the Lord has called you to do, things just fall into place. I have to be honest, like I didn't put that much effort. I planned, I did what I was supposed to do, but like it wasn't like, I was sweating like tears or anything like that. No, you just, you do the best that you can. So it really helped me to see and understand what it means by faith without works is dead. It helped me to understand that when you just take a step, the Lord will meet you at your step. And it helped me to understand who I've been called to be. I would say that. Yeah. I'm actually quite proud. So there you have it. That is Ottawa's first Afrobeats Dance Fitness series. Its successes, its failures, setbacks, everything, just the tea. Cheers. So what's next for FLVRFITT? I actually have a lot planned for FLVRFITT. I am taking a step back to rest. It was quite the summer. I'm taking a step back to take care of myself, getting back into work, getting back into, just a different routine. But I am taking my planning seriously to establish FLVRFITT in the city, having a space. But yeah, that's all I'll share for now. So stay tuned. More is coming for FLVRFITT. I haven't given up. I haven't stopped. I'm just taking a break to just step back and pivot. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the tea. I hope you enjoyed the story of how Move Her Summer came to be. And I just ask that you continue to support FLVRFITT and to keep your eyes peeled because I do have more coming in store for you. Okay? So with that being said, take care and I'll see you later. Bye.